Well, welcome back. We're up to race number 7 on the card, the third leg of the all-important quaddie down here in WA. The grey medal handicap, 0.79 rated race, 1600 metres, time to start at 4:30. Later start, we're finishing at 5:07. Now, Dion, in this race, we are watching the pass run of Winning Scene, also the pass runs of Mar Taste and Nullagine, the romp in the park for Capuchin, and pass runs of Bonnie D and Sharp and Sassy. We'll chat to Troy Turner, who rode Bonnie D last start. Other horses in this race include Sky Spirit. The blinkers have gone on. Really struggling this campaign, and he's been sort of up and down, Sky Spirit. Stirrup Iron Jack, he looks like he's still a few runs away yet. Blue Hoops has been very disappointing this campaign. Medico Miss was okay last start, went 4th. Now, Platinum led last start, was down the track. Batavia Bounty, an interesting runner. Batavia Bounty last start also was down the track behind Zamenka, beaten 5.5 lengths. Then we get down to Turbo Charge, right down the bottom there. 7th of 13th, only beaten 3.25. That was behind Bodsworth at Northam. But the first run we have a look at in replay is Winning Scene from last Saturday.
A length to Kent River, ridden along Oscar Wildly to the outside, worked on by Harvey nearing the turn. Woodgrain on the record next and back last, Real Halo. Around the turn though, Winning Scene straightens for home and shaken up by Brown. He's got the stick on him. At the 300 he leads a length and a half. Alpine Lad tracking along the fence. They're well clear of Oscar Wildly, Kent River, Real Halo. Alpine Lad grabbed Winning Scene down to the 150 though. Alpine Lad got his neck in front. Winning Scene fights back. Oscar Wildly runs to third, but Alpine Lad comes away, and a treble for Pike. On the line, Alpine Lad by a length. Winning Scene second, Oscar Wildly third.
It was a good run, Marty, but I did think that was Winning Scene's day. I thought he'd win it. The horse that beat him was an, I guess, ultra inconsistent horse. Well, inconsistent, he'd run a lot of placings, but he's taken a long time to find the line, Alpine Lad, and it would be his last chance Saturday, Winning Scene.
Okay, so a bit of a doubt on Winning Scene's chances. We go back now. It was a Saturday meeting a couple of weeks ago. Mar Taste and Nullagine, both pretty good runs.
He moved a length and a half on into range, and Parnham biding his time now starts to dig up Secret Enigma. Black Douglas under the whip making the home turn. Ranchers Boys got up inside of Secret Enigma. Blazing Colorado, then Nullagine. Mar Taste from back last, weaving his way through. Inside the 250, Secret Enigma, Ranchers Boy have gathered in. Northwater Boy into range, but Ranchers Boy's going better than them. Nullagine, Mar Taste run on. Ranchers Boy in front. Secret Enigma tries to rally. Nullagine coming now. He's flying. Ranchers Boy, Nullagine. Ranchers Boy wins. Ranchers Boy just beat Nullagine. Maybe Mar Taste.
Well, that was definitely the best run we've seen from Nullagine this preparation. Yep. A big improver. He's probably not going to get as good a run this week. He's drawn midway across, but it's an awkward sort of race. Mar Taste was very good, dropping right down in the weights. He probably should have finished closer. Maybe should have run second. He was getting hampered for room and held up over the concluding stages, and a pretty good form race, but they could both be in a bit of trouble this week.
Now, the replay here of Capuchin was 2 starts ago when the horse came to town and bolted in over 1,300 metres.
Game followed by Wadowski, Fryer Truck. Yellow Moon right off the course making her run, and she is a minute from them. At the 350, and Marku snuck a look over the right shoulder and gave Capuchin full rein, and away he goes. He's bounded clear inside the 204 in front of Honey Bear. Mar Taste followed then by Divine Star. Down the outside late comes Kent River, but it's all over bar the shouting. Capuchin's going to stroll in. Boy, it's been a big day for the Galantes.
It was a good win that day, ridden by Robert Marcoux, having his last ride for Lindsay Smith. Following that, he went to Northam and won easy, effortlessly at Northam, beating Solid Wicked Cruel, who then went out 5 days later and won at Belmont quite well. So the form around Capuchin is very, very good, and I think he's one of the better ones for the day.
Ooh, loading up with rubber bullets, eh? Now, we go back to the midweeks. Last race of the day, it was Bonnie D and Sharp and Sassy charging home, the 2 girls out wide.
Nearing the turn, in behind those looking for a run, Blue Raider, followed further back to the home turn by Sharp and Sassy, peeling to the outside. High Drama last on the fence, Falak Blues. They turn the bend though, over on the inside, Dan Chris tackled by Russian Playmate. Now an hour, squeezing between them now, finds room. Trib makes a line of 4, Bonnie D runs on, but now an hour shot through the gap and hit the front. Now an hour gets away from Russian Playmate, coming again, then McKeldeco, Bonnie D down the outside, and Sharp and Sassy flying late. Now an hour's in front from Sharp and Sassy, Bonnie D, but it's Now an Hour. Terrific ride by young Chatfield. Now an Hour, one from Sharp and Sassy or Bonnie D in a photo for second.
They were both good runs on that occasion, Marty. Both had pretty good runs in transit. Bonnie D got a nice card up and Sharp and Sassy followed her forward. They're both going to lob into pretty similar spots today. I think over the 1600, if Sharp and Sassy can roll forward, there's a good spot for her to take up about 4th, 5th, just off the leaders, with the winning scene possibly tearing away and Capuchin leading up that next division. I can see Bonnie D finishing into the placings, but Sharp and Sassy could be in a bit of trouble this week.
All right, Troy Turner will be riding Bonnie D. Let's have a listen to what he thinks about her chances.
She was scratched from Wednesday to run on Saturday, drawn barrier 5.53. How do you think she'll go?
Yeah, that's right. She's obviously nicely weighted in this race, and the horse has come up quite nice, so hopefully she'll go well.
Meets at even sort of field. Capuchin's won its last couple. Marine Drive's 1-1. Can she beat these sort of horses?
I think she's capable. She's probably suited with a bit further, but her runs suggest she'll go still quite well in the mile.
Selections on race number 7. I'm quite happy to stick with Capuchin. He's a horse who's really found his way in life since going to the Smith stables. To beat 11 Bonnie D is a big weight turnaround versus Sharp and Sassy for that race. Ma Taste has got about an 8 kilogram swing against Capuchin, but just that outside barrier I think is going to be a little bit awkward for this horse, who's only ever been out of the placings once in about 13 starts. Ultra consistent horse, Ma Taste. Now this is a quartet race up there in beautiful Singapore. I think Winning Scene bowling along out in front will definitely finish in the placings. So 8, 11, 4 and 3.
I'm going to go with number 8, Capuchin, the best bet for the day. To beat number 3, Winning Scene. Now this is his last chance, this horse. He's going to find the front and bowl along once again. And well, I think he can run second. To beat number 11, Bonnie D. Numbers 8, 3 and 11.
Got a 4th?
A 4th pick, I have number 12 here. Number 12, Sharp and Sassy.